Welcome to Lounge TV, I'm Larry, and that there's Tom.
That's me.
And it's hot.
Yep.
It's a hot day today, finally, right? Except for that, you know, it always happens when I have to do some kind of work outside. Go figure. Anyway, guys, what today I'm going to do, what I am doing today, I don't know how that sentence came out. Heat exhaustion. I'm going to be making stringers, so I'm going to show you how I make stringers for steps. Okay. For we're replacing the ones out front of the house. So I want to show you first the tools that you're going to need. Is of course we're using a 12 by 2 by 12 by I have 8 foot because I'll show you why in a minute. So you need your wood, you need circular saw, jigsaw, straight edge, square at least this big, which is this is 8-inch square here and 12 inches this way, and of course a pencil. So let me show you what I did. So I have it all drawn out here of what I want to do. There's plenty of videos on there that show you how to use the math and all that stuff, which I stink at. So I had Tom help me with the math a little bit. Yep. Hopefully we're right? Hopefully. We don't know. I think we are. Pretty sure. I mean, you have like pretty good spatial awareness of this sort of thing. So one of the first things you want to do is you want to know how far you're coming out this way, right? Which would be the length of it. Where I'm making mine 30 inches. Now I'm going to change them from this step where I want it to be the same height. Okay. As this one. So. Well, why is that? Because I feel like this step was just too small. You know, like this step from here to here and here is different than that right there. Fair enough. So I'd rather have it there and then have equal distance down for the steps. So maybe that's why Kevin fell that one time. Not sure. Could be. No, he fell because he missed all the stairs. Well, that doesn't help either. Yeah. So anyway, what you want to do is measure how far out you're going to come. I'm going to be coming out 30 inches. And you can put a straight edge across here like that to get your rise on it. Which for me, it was 21 inches, right? So it was 21 inches from, if I held that straight out to there, overall the height of it. Now you got to remember that you're also going to take away a measurement on here. So, because this board is going to be 1.5 inches. So you want it to finish here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll explain that when we get over here. So the next step, guys, is to actually figure this out and draw it. All right, so now we're going to draw our stringers out. Yep. So, guys, this takes a little practice. This could be my second time doing this. You wouldn't know. But I'm going to come down halfway through the board and just put 4 foot there. Actually, I don't even need that there. I just don't want to go past 4 foot, so I have half and half on this, right? Right. I'm going to start down probably about 14 inches. Right? Okay, so now my stairs, I am making 10 inches in the width and 7 inches the rise on there, right? And what you do is I took my 21 inches and I divided it evenly, and that would be 7 inches would be even, right? Right, but you're purposefully making the one a little bit short. Yeah, because there's no board underneath, right? So it's still going to be 7.5 inches up. Mm-hmm. And if you look at this, well, this will be 7.5, but these will be 8.5. Right, because this is just for the stringer. This doesn't also include steps. Actually, no. So let me talk, Tom. Go ahead. So if it's a 7-inch rise, you're putting a board on the bottom and you're putting a board on the top, so it's still going to be 7 inches. Right. So this will be actually 7.5 inches because I rounded it like that. What were you saying? Pretty much the exact same thing you said. All right. You want to do all this? I didn't think so. All right. So now you're going to take your square, right? And so where you want to start it here, you know that it's going to be 7 inches, right? Because we're doing this right here now, this drawing. So you're going to do 7 inches there and 10 inches there, and make sure that that's on. You're drawing it on the right side of not drawing it on the inside, because that's what I accidentally did. Right? So we're going to draw it just like that. make sure that you can see this. Okay. Now, from that point, right, we're going to do the exact same thing right here. It's going to be 7 inches to that point, and it's going to be 10 inches to that point. And again, drawing it on the outside. Like that. Okay.
And
now
you want like all right angles with all this, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what angles they are, Tom.
Well, I mean like connected to each other. So
yeah.
Like you basically just made a big W.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so the next is that we want to go 6 inches here.
Okay.
Because there's not, like I said, there's going to be a board on top but no board on the bottom. So use your square for that and put your square like that, where you have your point up there. Put your 6 inches down here, where is how far we're going to go. So I'm going to draw that line right there. I hope you can see it because this side of the wood is really dirty, right? So now 6 inches there, and now I'm going to put my square here against this line where that little mark was at 6 inches, and I'm going to draw this straight this way. So that'll be the bottom that rests on the ground.
Oh, it's starting to look like stairs.
Yeah, right. Okay, so up here now I want it 10 inches on the top.
All right.
So I'm going to put this up here.
Level with that line and measure out 10?
And then measure out 10, yes. Which is right here. And then I'm going to draw that like that. And last but not least, I'm going to take this square like that where that line is and just
for consistency's sake, keep using the outside of it, right?
Yeah. And that's actually what's going to be sitting up against the back of my, that's going to get attached to the top steps. And then go back and check all your measurements. Make sure that everything's right here. You know, you got 10 inches here, right? Got 10 inches there, you got a 7-inch rise there, you got 7-inch rise there, and a 6-inch rise here. And you got your 10 inches there, and your 10 inches there. And the reason why I went with 10 inches is because the boards that I'm putting on top are 2x6s, but they're always 5.5 inches. So it's really 11 inches, so it's going to hang over about an inch over. But I plan on, I'm going to hang it over an inch this way too. I plan on routering out the edges of my steps to give it a nice little look there and everything. So there you go. That's how you draw it out. Let's see, the next...
Yeah, what they say, measure twice, which you already did.
Yes. The next step, get it? Step I have to do now is to cut this out. And that's where your circular saw is going to come in handy, and your jigsaw. And the reason why you're using 2 different saws is this. I'm going to, first of all, take this in and cut this down. Oh no, I might not. I might do these other cuts first, because that way I have the other wood to clamp onto the tabletop.
That makes sense.
But so your jigsaw can only cut so far. You can't cut all the way to here, because if you cut all the way to here, the cut will actually come back here because your blade.
Right.
So you got to stop it short. Same thing over here, stop it short, and then you finish that cut with your jigsaw.
Gotcha.
And the same thing up here. And then once I get these 2 cut and this cut, you can just use your circular saw to follow all these lines. And it's pretty easy. Once you get one, then all you got to do is take this, put it over here, and draw it.
Yep.
And then, so you only really need to draw this out once. And then I'll show you what the next step is. Now I have a couple clamps on here to hold the board out here like that. Now, here's the thing, guys. I said 12-inch board, I believe, at the beginning. This is a 10-inch wide board, not a 12-inch. You can use 10-inch. I would have preferred a 12-inch. Thought I picked up a 12-inch, and it's only 10-inch. I don't know if it was mislabeled in the wrong spot, whatever happened, I don't know. But it still works. At least you want at least a 10-inch for this. And especially if you were going to go on like a long span like that deck over there, you definitely want a 12-inch board for that.
Right.
Right? So anyway, so now I have my circular saw. It's going to get a little loud. I'm going to make these cuts here and here. But like I said, I don't want to go all the way to the point. So, all right, bear with me with the sound. Okay, and now I can explain to you why. Okay, so you go up to this point here, and because the blade's round on the underneath side, it's not up to here. It's back here further, so that's why you need a jigsaw to finish that cut up. So because, or else if you went all the way up to here, right, or if you went past there to get the bottom, you'd be all the way up here.
That
you
makes
don't want
sense.
to do that. So now I'm going to continue. I'm going to do this cut, this cut, this cut, and do the same thing. And I could do this straight all the way, you know, that way, and cut that piece off, and the same thing with this. But right now I'm going to just worry about these two areas and get that done. And we'll show you the next step after I make these cuts.
All right.
All right, so I made these two cuts here too. So that's I can't make this one because I can't cut like this, and I'm not going to go like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this like this, and then I'm going to clamp the board the other way so I can get this cut.
All right.
All right, so now, right now I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do with the jigsaw. I'm just going to put the jigsaw down and finish this cut. So I'm going to go that way, and then I'm going to take this way. And there you go. And that's the same way you'll be finishing this up too. So I'm gonna cut this one first so I can have this already done. There you go. And like I said, now all I gotta do is make this cut here, finish it with this, and then cut this off, and I'm good. And then we'll go show you a rough fitting on there to make sure that it's what we want. And it better be, because I won't have enough board for two of these.
Yeah, really.
All right, so basically this is how it's going to be right here. I'm going to have to dig down a little bit because I knew I was going to have to do that. Not a big deal. If you have a surface like this that you can dig down, then by all means you can do that. Because I want these all to be level too. So I got to get it to the point where it's level, but that's how it's going to go right there. Okay, and then like I said, now I can just draw this on the other piece of wood there and make my other side so it's identical. And I will be using a bracket like this to attach it to this right here. This one happens to be too long, so I'm going to have to make a cut down in here and cut it off right here and here. But not a big deal. We just got the wrong size here because I thought I had a 12-inch board. So anyway, that's what it's going to look like. Except for then I'm going to finish it off. But this is why I wanted to step out to here on this one. So
Gotcha.
It'll be even with the top deck. So it'll be basically boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So the next step, now that you know that everything worked out perfectly, you're going to take your stringer that you have, and you're going to just make another one.
Only this time you don't have to go through all the painstaking measurements, right?
Exactly, and you can actually start at the beginning of the board. Just get it lined up exactly so it's even there, and then just draw it all out. All your lines here. And if you had a wider span of step than what we have, I think ours is right around 2 feet. If you're going to go wider than that, then you would have to make 3 of these. So you can have one in the middle. And depending on the width of it, you might have to have several of them. Like on that one, we have several spots where we have stringers up there.
That makes sense. Structural integrity and all that.
Yep. So again, so you draw it all out, and then you can go and do the exact same thing and cut that one out.
Look at that.
I hope you appreciated this video. By all means, I am not an expert, but I am somewhat of a handyman kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Till next time, guys, grab yourself something cold to drink, put up your feet and relax, and I'll meet you at the lounge, and we'll be finishing these stairs off.